Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. It is episode 18, Dose Dudes Talking. Welcome to the podcast, guys. If you're new here, checking us out for the first time, do us a favor, do yourself a favor. Smash that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you get notified anytime we put out new content, which is every single week. And, we put out videos and shorts and all kinds of good stuff and just trying to give you guys the information you need to help you guys win and succeed. Curry, fun topic today. We're going to be talking about prospecting and specifically, do you do it online? Do you do it in person? Do you do a combo of both? We'll talk about the fears and phobias around all of it. What do you think, man? I think most people fear the crap out of speaking to somebody in person.
Well, it's an uncomfortable situation where you have something that you believe is powerful. You
Hmm.
believe that is going to work for people, but they don't know what it is you have. They don't know who you are. Sometimes they might, you might be talking to a complete stranger in public, and so that feeling of trying to share some convincing life altering situation, it is tough.
Yeah.
I've dealt with it. I've struggled with. By the way,
Same. Yeah.
I just want to point out I have some green stuff on my video, just like you do. So I wanted to be like you, Dan. I wanted to be like you and have my
I
green
also want to
stuff.
point out too that I think just about every time we record this, you're in a different place.
I'm working.
So,
I'm working on my. Yesterday, I told Christy. I said I want to put a podcast studio in the dungeon in the basement downstairs.
mhm.
I said I want to build my own studio so that I can really be more professional. I said, because right now I'm bouncing around everywhere looking for a spot, looking for a spot.
Mhm.
At least I'm not in the car this week.
Yeah. Hey, what's funny is I actually have the other, this is one money plant here, and this is the smaller of the two. And I have a huge money plant over here that is sitting on the floor and it goes up to about
What the crap
here.
is
And
a
that's the
money
one that's
plant?
normally over here. And I'm a symmetry guy. I like, so that way there's a plant on each side of me. And then my wife the other day comes in and she moves it over here. And I'm just like, uh, I don't know.
What's a money plant?
Not working for me. What's that?
What is a money plant?
That's what these guys are called. They're hang on. They're
You gotta think. We're
yeah.
now selling money plants, y'all.
Yeah. Pachira is the actual name of it.
Pachira.
Pachira. But if you just Google or type in like money plant, this is what comes up right here.
Nice. All
Um,
right. Sorry about that.
yeah, they're
We went way
supposed
off topic.
to. There's a whole story behind them. Like you give them as gifts, they're supposed to bring people luck and finances and all that other stuff. So I've had these for literally years. So yeah. Anyway, we're talking about your office, but here's my quick 2 cents on prospecting in general, whether it's in person or online. Try to say as least as possible, meaning don't have word vomit when it comes to your product, service, business, whatever. And I'll give you guys a real life example here too. Um, I have a thing. I don't know if I want to explain it enough where it's like I don't want to like talk about a specific company or whatever. But anyway, I had a drink, right? Because I'm trying to shed some lbs. I had a drink that I was drinking, and I was at the pool literally yesterday. This is about as fresh as you could get. I was at the pool, and I'm doing some fasting, and I'm drinking a drink, and I just had that there. And everyone at the pool, like the pool is a very casual atmosphere, and everyone there is, they got a beer, they got a glass of wine or whatever. Everyone's just like chilling out, relaxing. It's Labor Day. Everyone's kind of hanging out, doing their thing, and I just had my drink on the side of the pool, and my friend Dana comes over. She's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "This actually helped me lose 9 pounds in 2 weeks." She's like, "Oh my gosh, I need that." I was like, "Yeah, sure. Just go to this website right here. It has all the details." And that was our conversation. Did I say to her, "Well, let me explain this, Dana. It's got this. It's got an Oric score of this. It's got this clean ingredients. Oh my gosh, it's got this. Hey, let's go over and sit at the table and let me draw you out the compensation plan so you're not going to understand how you could share this and you could make a lot of money." I said, "No, it's helped me lose some lbs in the last couple of weeks." And I drink it like a liquid IV. That's it. And it's pretty simple. She's like, man, I need that. I was like, yeah, just go to that site right there. That's it. She's like, man, I'm gonna go get some of this.
By the way, being a terrific customer, the best customers are the best affiliates.
For sure.
You
For sure.
you so the statement of being a product of your product and
Hmm.
you out being a product and like you just just drinking your drink. You ain't even out here wearing a sign. You ain't out here telling everybody. You ain't yelling it from the rafters. You're just being a product of the
Hmm.
product. You made one simple statement that told your story. You had a tiny story that you shared. I
Hmm.
lost 9 pounds in 2 weeks. That's
Hmm.
your whole story. And they
Yeah.
go, oh crap, I need that. I need that.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it's for. If he lost 9 pounds in 2 weeks, I need that.
Yeah. And
Guys,
then as I was saying this, another person kind of overheard and they chimed in. They're like, how's it taste? Is it good? And I was like, yeah. You ever had a liquid IV? They're like, yeah. I'm like, tastes like one of those. And they're like, oh, cool. So it's like, I'm this is where I think a lot of people need to be careful because, like, Curry, I know you wear your swag sometimes, hat, shirt, whatever, and you got your gear on, and other people that are, you guys watching this, if you're wearing your gear, or, sometimes like you're wearing you're a product of the product. You're wearing your patch, or you're holding your thing, or it's like you got a lanyard on or whatever. It's like you're letting people know subliminally, not so subliminally, like that you got a thing. So the question is for you is when someone comes up and says, "Hey, what's that thing?" Your bottle, your stick, your patch, your shirt, your whatever. Like, this is where you got to practice, in my opinion, practice saying as little as possible, and
it's tough.
maybe even use ChatGPT to say like, hey, this is my business. This is what it does. This is what it represents. This is the opportunity, whatever. Give me 10 one sentence lines that I can use when someone asks me about my product. I think that would be a great thing to practice and get used to, pointing people to the information versus you supplying all the information. Because for me, like if we take the example from yesterday, if someone said, "Oh, what's that?" and I gave them the word vomit, they would have been like, "Whoa, okay, buddy, I'm just going to go back to drinking my beer," But it was just like, "Oh, it helped me do X, Y, Z. It's helping people do X, Y, Z." If you want information, or grab me your phone, I'll type in the website for you so you could check it out yourself. Like just little simple, oh, hey, it helps with blah. Here's the info. You know, I think that makes sense.
It does, and I think that you've hit a word that we've talked about many, many, many times, and that word is practice.
Mm-hmm.
So many people won't practice. They won't go take action because they don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Well, until you practice, until you do it a bunch, until by the way, let's call it what it is. Until you fail enough times, because practice doesn't have an expectation of winning. You don't have when you go practice with a team, a ball team, whatever. There's no expectation that you're going to win. You have an expectation of getting better. You have an
Mm-hmm.
expectation of working on skills.
Mm-hmm.
And so practicing is saying, hey, why don't you find an accountability partner? Literally find an accountability partner where you can literally call them up or meet them for coffee with the intention of we're going to both practice 5, 10 times over this meal what it is that we would say if somebody asked me, hey, what is it that what is that? What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Just come up with a response and practice leading people to that destination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, aka the information. And let me say another thing on accountability partners, which by the way, we've talked about this before, and that's a really, really great idea. You guys could have, as let's say Curry and I are accountability partners here, right? And we're going to go meet for coffee. Maybe we're going to meet here in a Zoom and we're going to have coffee because we're in different states. Doesn't matter. But we meet, and let's say the week prior we had a goal of we're going to go out into the world and we're going to go practice on 10, 20, 50 people, whatever the number is, it doesn't matter. When we show up here, we're going to compare notes. Curry's going to say, hey, well, you know what? I talked to 10 people and this is what I said and this is the result that I got. And I could be like, oh, okay, well, that's, you did pretty good or you did mediocre or sounded like, we got to keep practicing. And then I would say to Curry, well, this is what I said. This is who I talked to. And this is the result that I got. And then you guys literally can compare notes. And over time, what's going to happen is you're going to start to develop, well, we've been saying this and this seems to be working pretty good. And then you continue to refine that practice and your practice gets better, your practice gets easier, your practice gets more streamlined, and you have an accountability partner right there alongside you that's helping push you, motivate you, drive you, and do all those things. So,
And by the way, can we let's expand on one additional outlet of accountability partner, three-way calls.
mm,
Three-way calls. Some of y'all
aren't
believe
those
that
from
you
like
have to,
1985? Do those
dude,
exist
I love
anymore?
them.
Do
They're
people still
still
do
great.
those?
They're still great, man. Listen, three-way calls is where you put an expert on the phone. And guess what? The person you're talking to doesn't know the person that they're about to talk to. It's your job to edify anyone, whether it's a leader, whether it's somebody that's a
Yep.
peer, whether it's your accountability partner.
Intro them and
This,
get out of the way.
you just listen, if you have an accountability partner, they're your three-way call partner as well.
You
And
just,
this gives them the ability to overtalk in that moment.
mm-hmm,
It gives them the ability to, number one, it gives you the practice of edification because when you make that person the expert, they are for the entire call.
mm-hmm,
By the way, just for a three-way call, if I was working with Dan and I knew Dan was going to be my expert, and if I call up Dan on that three-way call, and then when that person starts when your prospect starts asking questions, if I talk, I expect Dan will never work with me ever again for the rest of my life. That's my like I'm handing the information off to Dan because I
mm-hmm.
don't want to talk. I
Yeah.
don't want to give anything.
You're
Anyways,
introducing the expert.
that's right. So
Yeah.
it's a whole nother lesson. We can talk about that another
I
time, but
dude, I just made a note because we're dudes and we're two dudes talking. I just made a note for next time we could do a whole thing on three-way calls. But yeah, like you said, you want to edify and introduce the person and then get the heck out of the way. Like
man, it's
just step aside and then you just observe the combo. That's it. But accountability partners are great guys, and I don't think enough people take advantage of that. They really don't. But
because
when
that's uncomfortable too.
it can be, yeah, but it
Dude,
doesn't
I
have to be.
find that everybody seems to live and will not do things that are a little uncomfortable. Like it's like you don't start off in any of this being good.
Hmm.
And I just don't get the fear of failure to get better. Like I don't get it. But I guess I've been through it enough. I've been
Hmm.
through it enough that I'm so far detached from it that it's like, hey, we're over here showing you exactly what to do to get better. But you just seem to keep believing that your way is better when it's not. There's no way it could be. There's no
Hmm.
way.
Yeah, we have those people that get started and it's like, here's the roadmap of go do all this. And I don't want to go too far off on this tangent. And then
Yeah,
they're
no,
like,
keep going. I just
and then they're just, and I've had people message me and they're like, man, I'm working on something real special. I'm like,
why?
what do you mean you're working on something real special? You'll see, you'll see. I'm like, whatever. Okay. And then it's like, here's our roadmap, which is like, go here, go do this, step by step, click by click. And they're like, I'm going to go over here to Pinterest and I'm going to do Craigslist. I'm going to do all this other weird stuff that we've never taught. We've never shown in any training. There's no proven results by doing what you're doing. But somehow in your head, you just conjured up this totally different scheme that you're going to go do. And it's like, why? What?
Why?
Why? What? Like, what caused you to go that route? Well, I'm not sure, but it's like, okay, just stop. just just hang tight. So
Figure out.
go ahead.
No, I was just continuing to just figure it out then, I guess.
Yeah, figure it out. Yeah. So I was one of my first network marketing companies. I was taught to go recruit in person, go out prospecting and recruiting in person. And I was taught to, grab yourself a lanyard because this is what other so-called leaders in this company were doing. Grab yourself a lanyard and you go walk around a shopping mall and like instantly I'm just like cringe. Like go walk around a shopping mall and then you go in and you look for the store owners and you strike up a business conversation and then it's just word not only like when you're taught that or when you're trying to do that instantly go walk around a shopping mall like that's going to make someone nervous right off the bat like what the f like do I actually have to go do this? I really don't want to do this. I didn't want to do it. And then you're going to go talk to people and now you're put in the as a network marketer in my humble opinion, Curry, let me know if you disagree here, but you're put in the worst position possible as a network marketer and you are forced to word vomit all over someone that has no effing clue who you are. And now you have to think back and memorize all this crap about your business and your program and what it can do for them and blah, 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 blah. And like, this is what was taught to me. And I'm just like, whoa, pump the brakes, sweet cheeks. I don't think this is like what myself or anybody want to do. And
But was your process, wasn't it that at that time to possibly invite them to a meeting?
not for me in my location, it wasn't because
Oh wow.
you could do, there were people at the time that were doing in-home parties. So you could certainly invite a stranger back to your house if you wanted to. Um,
Let's call it
but
a date to me. That was a date.
yeah, really. Um, but for me, it was just all the things that, I always thought to myself, like, there's got to be a better way. Like going out and doing the old school stuff that, like, 1985 Amway, and you're walking around and you're, cold prospecting everyone you can see in front of you. Hey, do you want to try my thing? You want to try my thing?
Well,
Um,
hold on a second. Let's break this down real fast because I think there's a disconnect in time. And I'm not saying you're wrong by any means. So back in the day, let's just say 10 years ago, 15 years ago,
pre-internet, pre-internet.
pre mainstream social media that everybody was on. I even in my very first company, they told me to build a meeting from a meeting. So we would literally rent or access the local party room at Buffalo Wild Wings, and
Yeah.
then I would spend
Or
the week.
hotel
Well,
conference
I'm
room or
just telling
something.
my real story. It's like I would do Buffalo Wild Wings because it was free and I wasn't making any money yet. I didn't have anybody.
Hmm.
And then during the Monday to Wednesday, I would go out and just do exactly what he would do. I would walk into every business. I would talk to people. I would talk to, all I would do is hand them a flyer and invite to the Buffalo Wild Wings. And what I would find is I'd get about, I don't know, 10 people that told me, yeah, I'll be there. And then none of them would show up. And
Sure.
it was
Yeah.
like this massive amount of wasted time.
Hmm.
And so for me, I became very anti building in person
Hmm.
because of the loss of time.
Yeah. I think there are like, as we mentioned earlier, like most people, the majority, whatever that percentage is, are going to want to build online today. But there are some folks out there that, like the belly to belly or kneecap to kneecap type of, networking, actual human conversation, whether it be with friends, acquaintances, building their list, like old school building your list, where you're literally writing down friends and family, and then you're writing down their friends and family, and then their friend, family's friends and family, whatever. And you're networking that way. The way that I see it, and there's a bunch of different ways to go about this, but there's ways that I see it where it's like you can go prospect in public, around friends, around family, in a shopping mall, wherever you want. Like you can go talk to people, but I think if you're going to do that, You need to have a well-crafted, short, short little doodad. Just, kind of like the pool reference from yesterday, where it's just short and direct and to the point, and you're saying as least as possible and pointing people towards the information. And don't put yourself in a situation where you feel like you need to word vomit, because I could tell you from experience that's where it's going to go sideways. And that's where it's going to put a lot of pressure on you, where it's like, if you're out there and you want to go get people interested in what you're doing and you want to be proud of what you have, you want to hold your shaker bottle, or you want to wear your patch, or you want to wear your swag, or whatever it is, go do that. Go do it and love it. And then when people are like, hey, what's that? Be like, have just a nice, well crafted, short little doodad that points people to it's right here if you want the information. And that way you could do it where it's like, for me, when I had my bottle, like all I did is, I had some ice in there and I shook it up and I drank it and I was just doing my thing. Like I wasn't waiting for anyone to ask me about it. I wasn't expecting anyone to ask me about it. I didn't care if anyone asked me about it. But then
You
when someone
mean
did ask, what's that?
you mean you didn't just walk up to a crowd of people and then just stand there glistening in the sun when your nice body and you
Had
shook
my,
it up
my
in
baby
slow
oil
motion?
on.
You was in
Oh,
slow motion and you
yeah.
just was like demanding people to ask me, "Hey, what is that?
And
What are
as
you
I sipped
drinking?"
it, I pointed to it and I winked at everybody.
That's right.
Oh man,
I was
no,
I
it
was
was
having that Dan infomercial in my head just now. I
yeah,
was like,
no.
look at
And then
Dan.
I cued the music in the background, it's like a theme to a TV show or something. No, that's just it. Like I didn't go out expecting someone to walk up to me. But the thing is, like, if you want to do that, you can be proud of what you have. You can be proud of what you represent and what the product does, or the compensation plan, or any of that sort of stuff. And then when people ask you about it, get people, like, do it in a way where, people are going to go up to you, or you can gently and effectively weave it into a conversation. If I happen to be talking about weight loss, or if any of my friends or whatever happen to be talking about weight loss, there's an open door for me to say, oh, hey, I've been using this thing and it helped me drop 9 pounds in 2 weeks. Simple. You say something like that, that's going to get people's attention. Well, no kidding. How's it work? Well, I don't have all the details. I just know I drink it, but there's a website right here. And you just quickly pivot to there's a
The
thing here that
resource.
has all the information that you
You
need.
pivot to the resource
That's it.
always.
Just like a three-way call,
Yeah.
right on to the
Look,
expert.
look, if
And
I could explain it, I already would have. I can't. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you to look at the website because that's
yeah,
how I learned about it.
exactly. Yeah. Learn about it the same way I did. Go here. Um, so yeah, and you know what, to be honest, like
Oh, wait, wait, wait,
online,
wait, 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 wait. Hold on. That's another key point. How you present the information to a prospect is how they'll believe they've got to do it. So if they watch you verbally vomit all over them with all the details and
mm-hmm,
ingredients and tastes and all the stuff, they're going to believe that's how they've got to do it.
mm-hmm,
But if you show them, hey, look, I don't know how to explain this the right way, so I'm going to let the website do it for me. If they let you see that if you're not trying to be all the answer guy or all the answer girl, you are just pointing them to the resource and they're going to go, I can do that.
yep,
I can point somebody to a website.
yeah, because it's easy. We all love easy. And I
Oh,
think,
like,
I want to talk, we've talked a lot about offline prospecting. Now let's talk about online prospecting. But Curry, before we recorded, you had a great story from something that happened in real life. If you could share that and, talk about, again, I think what's great, and I'll let you tell the story here, but like when you went into that situation, you weren't looking to be like, hey, let me come in here and prospect. It just naturally happened.
yeah, so we were getting some greenery, some plants for our deck, and we had to drive out into the country. We had never been to this place before. It's this greenhouse. It's right. I mean, it's literally 20 minutes from here. And we went to this greenhouse and we found the ferns that we wanted. And we went into an office building rather than like a checkout place. It was like an office room. And in that room was three women, and they happened to all be talking about some weight loss product. And I happened to mention, we can get that cheaper. That's all I said. And they were like, what are you talking about? And then I just showed them the website and I said, look, you can get it for this price. And they're like, holy crap, you can get it for that price. How do I get it? And I said, we have this thing. And so they literally, the lady, let's back this up real fast. Guys, I do everything online. I am an
Mhm.
online guy. So doing something like this offline was way outside of my comfort zone that I wasn't even prepared to do, but I also wanted to do it correctly. So the first lady said, I'm signing up first, and she signed up. And then I said, well, don't use my link to sign up for number two, use hers. She just signed up. And then I taught them to build through people. And this is where local team building is spectacular, is because you can build through your contacts. You build through those people. You say, hey,
Mhm.
look, you just got started. How can I help your people find information about? And then it's just building through those people. But Dan, I am online because I understand that this business is always going to be a numbers game.
Mhm.
There's always going to be way more no's than there's going to be yeses. And if I know that, I'm going to run through the no's to get to the yeses as fast as possible.
Mhm.
So online has given me access to live video, has given me access to video production, has given me access to messenger and DMs and text and everything that I can do there. Like, I just want to create enough noise to get enough people to go to my resource. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Would you say that, and this is like as we've been talking here, this is kind of how kind of how I've been thinking about it is, would you say that it's easier and maybe makes more sense to, if you're going to be business building, and business meaning all things business, you're recruiting business builders, you're getting customers, you're building your business. It's much easier to get a customer in person and versus a business builder, and it's more easier to get a business builder online, because when you're out in public, it's much more customer centric or customer focused. Like, your situation the other day, like me down at the pool, it's like when you're talking about what your product does or can talk about what your product does, it's much more customer driven. And, versus like, well, like if you walked into that office yesterday and they were talking about healthcare and you were like, well, hey, let me talk to you about this compensation plan. Like, you would have instantly lost them
Yep.
versus, hey, we have that cheaper. Like, that's short. That's sweet. Like me down at the pool. Well, help me lose weight in 2 weeks. You know, you go for the product. When you're online and you're talking to other network marketers who understand maybe a little bit more about the business, who understand maybe a little bit more about the ins and outs of how the business works, you can prospect a little more business oriented. Hey, have you seen, or if, if I would you, hey, if I showed you something that was pretty impactful, would you be open to taking a look at it? That's
That's a
how
good point.
that's how I kind of see, you know, in person versus online. If you're going to do the in person thing, maybe focus a little more on the product and the benefit versus like, hey, let me give you verbal diarrhea of how this business works.
Yeah, but then that the point of that would be, after they're a good customer, they're happy
Hmm.
with the products.
Yeah,
That's when you flip that. Hey, now that you enjoy it, would you like to make some extra income with it?
exactly. Yeah.
And
But
that's how, by the way, that's how this industry began. This industry began by giving people access to products that they would possibly like, and then learn to take those happy customers, because you didn't take unhappy customers to become business builders. You took happy customers who wanted to talk about
mhm,
their products, wanted
yeah,
to give their testimony, wanted to share, and help those people make extra money.
yeah. You're working with
Now,
people that are feeling good from using what they have. And I mean, what's the best marketing on the planet? Word of mouth. I
Never
mean,
going to change.
nope, never. We've used that example for years. Is like what happens when you watch an incredible series on Netflix or Hulu, or you go to a great movie, or you eat. Like I know down here, like my whole neighborhood, my whole network, we all go out to eat fairly frequently, and when we hit a great restaurant, everybody knows about it. So it's word of mouth is just and I tell you one thing, and this is I'll throw this out there. If, my buddy Dana, if she gets on the product and she starts losing some LBs, I can guarantee bleep and tee, you know, guarantee bleep and tee you that she's going to share that with everyone she knows.
Yep.
So, you know,
By the way, do you feel like there might also be the fear that there's going to be customers who aren't happy who spread the word locally?
I don't fear that at all.
I know we don't fear that. I think that maybe a brand new person might have that concern that, hey, what if they don't like it? What if they don't like it and they tell their friends and now everybody thinks that I'm in this terrible business that I got this thing that everybody doesn't like.
I mean, that's for me, that's where I just let all that stuff kind of fall back on the product or the company or whatever. There's a money back guarantee, so it's like, hey, you know what? It's you you can't fail here. Like you try it, you like it, great benefits and stuff, good positive stuff starts happening. You don't like it, you get your money, like
Money
anything
back.
out there. You get your money back. So it's like you're not losing anything here except maybe like weight and feeling good. So but I don't have to worry about any of that stuff because the companies get all that stuff in place. So
Isn't that a beautiful
it
thing that
is
we don't
it's
have to
freaking
carry that
cool, man.
inventory? We don't have to hold on to stuff. You just show people something you like. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't.
Hmm.
Who cares?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, I
We're going
mean,
to go back to let's go back to episode one where Curry talks about not being responsible for the outcome. It's not your job to be
yep.
responsible for the outcome. It's your job to do the thing. So just do the thing.
Hmm.
Enough.
And it's the same thing with online prospecting here because obviously we're talking about both. We spent a lot of time talking about in person, which I think in person is definitely more of the challenging of the two, because of the fear and phobia of what you have to do, what you have to say, and all that other stuff. But online, guys, like keep it stupid simple, KISS, right? Keep it stupid simple when you're prospecting online. Use that. And Curry shared this in other episodes where you go over to Chat GBT, you get a great if I would you line. If I were, to show you something that has greatly impacted my life, would you be willing and open to looking at it? If I would you. And you, again, intro, point people to the information, get out of the way, and here's the reality is sometimes I get these all the time, daily, where I'll add new friends, and these other new friends are network marketers or affiliate marketers. And then as soon as we become friends, they feel the need to instantly hit me up on their business offer. And it's like a paragraph. And as soon as I look at it and I just see that it's obviously a super huge long business pitch, I instantly just delete the message because I'm just like, ugh, whatever. But if you're going to be reaching out and prospecting, short, to the point, attention grabbing, point people to the information, get out of the way. Versus
Well, you
again,
don't want to have all the thousands of conversations of, hey, how are you? And how's your day? And how's your
uh,
mom and them?
there is a group. It's probably the same. I'm guessing it's the same guy. There's all these fake profiles that keep trying to add me as friend, and I keep getting the messages keep going into my spam folder. And it's every single day, it's a different photo and different name. And of course, when I tap on the profile, they have like one or two friends. You can tell it's a brand new account.
Right.
And it's like, and it's the same message over and over. It's the same exact message with all these different profiles. And it's like, hey, I see that you're showing up in my news feed. How are you today? I would really love to become friends with you. And it's like, just go away.
I like how I've never in my lifetime dated Asian women, but for some reason it's always some Asian woman from Singapore who's now into some trades and lives in
Mm,
San Francisco or New York City. It's
yeah.
always the same. Like just say I got the same thing.
Nigerian prince, like
Oh,
any of those.
I'd believe that one. I'd believe that one.
But the point is, guys, like prospecting, right? We're just talking about prospecting, whether it's in person, whether it's online.
Go back to what we talked about earlier. When you were walking around the mall and you had to go store to store and you had to go have those conversations with individual people, and it took time to walk to those places. It took time to open the door. It took time to get to have that. Are they available? Can I get 5 minutes of your time? Can I, that time.
Hmm.
This is what I love about online. Online, I can go to a group, for fishing. Let's say that it's a bass fishing group, and I've got this new fancy fishing pole. This is always my favorite example.
Hmm.
I literally can just go into that group, and number one, I could make a post inside that group that says, is anybody got a favorite fishing pole? And you just create a question that other people start seeing your name attached to content. It
Hmm.
doesn't mean to go in and pitch that group. It means to go in and let people start seeing your name attached to content in that group.
Hmm.
And then I literally would spend the rest of my time inside the members area of that bass fishing group. And I would go to members with things in common, and I would just start messaging people. Hey, just checking to see if you're open for a new fishing rod. Just seeing if you're open for a new fishing rod. Just seeing if you're open. How fast can I message 40 people a day?
Hmm.
40 people a day, over and over and over again, the same type of message, the same copy and paste, the same message that is just simple,
Yep.
not overwhelming. And then when they go, well, I am in the mess in the I'm open for a
Excuse me.
new rod. Then I can point them to a website that's got the information about that rod.
Hmm.
I would never at this point in my life start typing about that fishing rod.
Yeah.
Never in my life. It would just be awesome. Listen, this is what I found. Check this out.
Yep. Point
It
to the
is
information, get out of the way.
get out of the way. It's like if they
Yeah.
want it, they want it. If they don't, they don't. Go message more people. Go fast.
Yeah.
Dude, the
I
people
think I
that
think
don't
that's
understand the speed.
yeah, I think that's going to be kind of like the tagline for today's video, or maybe all the videos, like point and get out of the way. Just point and get out of the way. Let whatever presentation you have do the selling and telling for you, whether it's a product, a service, the business, the comp plan, whatever. Point people to the info and step aside.
I love, and this is going to be to all the people who follow me and all the people who follow you. How is it possible that you seem to believe that you should go out here and tell everybody the name of your company, all your products, all the details? Like you're a walking billboard that everybody's driving by that nobody wants to talk to. Like I wish this is what I wish I could get into more people's heads. Your story, that simple story. Hey, I found something. This is the situation I was in. I found something, and then point to a resource is the
Hmm.
most powerful thing you can do. But for some reason in your head, you think, I've got to tell everybody about this wonderful thing that I have out here, this XYZ company. I got to tell them all the details. I got to tell them that you can make all kinds of money. I got to tell them that you got these products. I got to tell them. And it's like, you're
Nope.
going to lose if you tell them. We've proven this. We
Hmm.
tried. By the way, there ain't no way that Dan didn't do this wrong. There ain't no way that Curry didn't do this wrong. There ain't no way that your upline didn't do this wrong. We all messed up. And
Hmm.
you know what we figured out? Stop talking. Stop,
Yeah.
stop talking.
That's what I figured out in the shopping malls. There is a better way. This is one way not to do it.
Those were the joy of those days, man.
But you know what? Yeah, it's inside of all of that, and this is what practicing is great for. Inside of all of that is lessons, and those lessons teach you how to do things better. Practice teaches you how to get better. And here's the reality. If you don't go practice, you're not going to get better. And a lot of people don't practice because they're scared of the outcome. So cut that crap out. Like, that's how you're going to get better. The outcome isn't your responsibility. Your responsibility is saying or doing the thing.
But
End of story.
so just to wrap that up with what the only way to get over the fear of something is to do that thing enough times.
Hmm.
Like just to do it so many times that you ain't bothered by it anymore. Like I know this is a fact. If you are scared of heights, go jump out of a plane. I promise you're going to have a great time and you ain't going to be afraid of heights nearly anymore. You're just going to be like, screw that. I did this. I done this.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah, it was like years ago, we were on a business trip down in the DR, and my wife, who is afraid of heights, um, we went parasailing and she loved it. We went zip lining and she loved it.
Yeah.
Didn't know until she did it. So it's like, yeah, hey, man, I don't know. I think we're good for today. What do you think, Uri?
I love it, man. If we can move more people to stop talking and just point people to a resource and duplicate the simplicity, your businesses, no matter what you're in, no matter what you're doing, you will have so much more success if you just stop talking.
It's funny because you say that out loud and people are like, what do you mean stop talking?
God, stop talking.
Close your mouth.
I
Man.
love to talk, but I ain't talking about my business. I ain't talking about my no.
Yeah,
I'm
unfortunately
going
I
to
love to
show
talk too.
you
And
a
it's,
resource.
even I have to practice like, okay, shut the hell up. Just quiet. But
That's
it's
it.
fun, man. It's such a fun industry and it can create incredible things if you just go do it. By the way, if you made it to this point in the video and for whatever crazy reason you haven't subscribed yet, smash that thing somewhere on the screen. I'm sure somewhere around this video. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon to get notified anytime we upload new content, which is every week. And we appreciate you being here, appreciate you watching. So thank you guys. Hopefully, you guys got some value from today. If you did, drop that down below. If there's a topic that you guys would like us to talk about, put that in the comments down below because, hey, we're always open for, cool stuff like that. And next week, I believe Curry will talk about three-way calls because, man, that could be fun.
Be a good time.
All right, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.